Welcome back to the Tiny Dream Hanger. This is Mike, and today I want to talk to you about G.I. Joe Classified and how hard they've been to get. And hey, guess what? The year of 2021 is going to be G.I. Joe O Plenty. We're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about some upcoming figures coming up. So first I want to talk about kind of what we've already gotten and where we're going. So where have we been? Now, they started out with these, there's like 15 of these here, but as you can see, we had a Snake Eyes, a Roadblock, another Snake Eyes, a Destro, going down that line there. But the stylization is based on the game, according to a lot of people. I started playing the game and I'm starting to see that is pretty true. It's pretty accurate. It really does reflect the figures matching the game, so that theory seems to hold pretty true here. Now, the thing about these figures is, there are a lot of these that are still very easy to get. You can get them on Amazon. I can leave a link down below. And it's not like it's hard to get every one of them. It's only really hard to get the ones that were Target exclusives. But looking at this sheet here, you can see that they've made the same figure over and over and over. Like Roadblock's been made twice. Snake Eye's been made twice. Destro technically twice. Cobra Commander 3 times. The third one's not on here. And now they're starting to show that they're remaking all the figures again. They're starting with the Trooper, which is a good idea. There's no plans for Beachhead or Baroness, but you know it's coming because it's Hasbro. Next thing we have to talk about is, of course, we have Scarlet with her updated deco, and it does look different, maybe a little bit better. I don't even know which one I really like more out of these two. But I have to admit, it's still not quite the classic design that I would like to see. And I almost want to put a guarantee on it. We're going to see a classic design eventually. Maybe it'll be 2024 till we get a classic design. But we'll eventually get a classic design, a more classic design than what we got with Scarlet. And okay, the paint's okay, but why did they not go full on? Even if they didn't change the actual design of the figure and the hardware, the coloring could have been closer to what we'd like to expect. But again, they're going to do that eventually one day. They just kind of have to. It's kind of Hasbro. They're doing the same thing with Roadblock, so we're going to get him basically a carry forward just like Scarlet, but he's going to get a redeco, just kind of recoloring. And I think the redeco of him does look a little bit better. I know there's people out there that like the gold accents and they think it makes it look more interesting and a little bit less plain. And I think that was the original intention. They want him to look more interesting and less plain. But it's still not quite plain enough for me because I want to match the character model more. But I'll take it. Still, it's not the version I want, and they know the version 1 is what everyone's after. Hopefully, pretty soon, we get the version 1. So looking at what we're getting right now at Target, well, what we're not getting right now at Target, and Firefly and the Viper. Now, Viper's been very elusive, hard to get. It's a troop builder. Everybody wants 4, 5, 6 of these. Very few people are, just want one, yes, just one. See, it makes a better scene if you have a bunch of Vipers. And they're so hard to even get one. Same with old Firefly. Now, I think that I'm perfectly fine with the Jazzwares Firefly or the McFarlane Firefly. Either one of those is fine. I think actually either one is better than this one, but still people want it just because they want to be completionists, and not being able to get it is frustrating. I guarantee, well, I can't say I guarantee, I really feel we're going to see in the future both these figures get reissued in one capacity, one way, shape, form, or another. But what do we have coming down the pipeline? Well, we have Cobra Trooper, and this is like a reissue, slightly redecoed, and we have Zartan, which those can be pre-ordered at 7, 8, 9 different places. The thing is, I have pretty much all the figures coming on pre-order at so many different places, and none of them are out of pre-orders. Started to tell me they're going to make these in the millions, if not in the 10 millions. So it would be interesting to see actual production numbers on these, but I guarantee you that Hasbro is looking at their lost profit potential, and they are going to just flood the market, and maybe even at the end of like 2023, we'll see some of them showing up at Ross or some of those discounters. I do think Zartan looks good, a little bit stylized, but I kind of like it. I kind of like the way he looks. He kind of fits in. He always had kind of his own look about him, which is kind of one of the cool things about G.I. Joe. Like, each character more or less had their own look. There are a lot of the Joes that look very similar to each other, but Zartan definitely has his own look about him. He will have the color change of the skin, so the color changing effect is kind of cool. Looks like you swap the head and swap his hood and all that stuff, so he does have his disguise, his backpack, and all that. I think he's going to be a great figure, and he's going to be very easy to get your hands on. The next big ones on the way are Flint and Lady J, and they should be coming along pretty soon also. What I want to say is that I think both of these look good. Lady J herself, I like her better in her hat, with her hat section. I don't know if I like how they use the kind of the swappable hair piece, but it's interesting. Would a swappable head been better? Maybe, probably. But anyhow, both these figures look good, and notice both these figures are closer to the classic design. This figure does look good. He is wearing his soccer shin guards and his knee pads, so he's going to be playing soccer later with the rest of the Joes. But aside from that, he does look really solid. I think this is a nice looking figure. Head sculpt looks like Super Trooper kind of head sculpt. I don't know if it really matches the character so much, but it does look pretty good overall. His gun looks like a real shotgun. I mean, this is kind of going in the right direction, giving us what we want, and kind of tipping their hand at the direction that they're going to go, so we can see all these figures going forward are going to be sort of like in this style line. Here's the old Lady J with her hat, and again, I think she looks better with her hat. Maybe it's just because the toy had a hat on, so everyone that had the toy kind of associates that. But again, without going through a ton of stills or watching a couple of episodes, just to see how she looks and all those, just kind of from memory, I think this hat is better for me, and I like it better. I think the face sculpt might be a bit off, though. But anyhow, the figure is giving us what we want in a classic design, and it still looks interesting enough. It's not too boring and too bland and too plain. And I'm kind of shocked we haven't heard an announcement about Beachhead or the Baroness. Now, the thing is, I'd like to see a Baroness that you don't have to have the vehicle with, like a standalone Baroness. She is a good-looking figure. I actually don't know what they would change about her. I think that if they did change much on her, she might look worse. And I think she looks good enough the way she is. So I'm just kind of curious what they would change. If they didn't pack her with the motorcycle, would they give her more accessories? I don't know. That's another question about what's going to happen with the Baroness. Now, we already know about we're getting this trooper. You can order 80 of these troopers, and no one's stopping anyone from ordering 80 troopers. Yes, you get one less gun or a couple less accessories, whoop-de-doo. But the standard trooper, not the Cobra Island version, but you could get that trooper. And then Beachhead, again, they're going to have to do something a little bit different to make the Cobra Island ones worth, getting up at 6 in the morning and standing in line for 2 hours to get it at 8 when they unlock the doors, or however people got theirs. But they will make these slightly different. And I think we're roadblocked out on this mold. We kind of would like to see version 1 roadblock. One of the big questions is if they do the same thing with the Viper, when they do the same thing with the Viper that they did with the Trooper, what will they take out? Like, what could they change? In fact, it's so bare bones, like we don't get a scarf or something. I don't know. It's so bare bones already that it doesn't have all of the tons of pack-ins like we're used to seeing with a lot of the figures. Like, they can't take the gun away, so what are they going to take away? And that's a concern. So would it be just a straight repack with a different color deco and still maintain the same accessories? Would they add an accessory? Who knows? And there are rumors of Major Blood and Alley Viper, which seem to be a bit odd to me to just come out of the blue with those. But anyway, here we go. Major Blood, Alley Viper. Looking at them, that's interesting. First off, Major Blood, how will he look covered with all of the foot pad kind of things, the shin guards and all that? I mean, I kind of remember the figure as being pretty plain figure from the lower half, and the upper half looking all kind of robotic kind of thing going on. But I'm interested in seeing what they do with it. They haven't revealed any pictures. And Alley Viper seems like a huge jump into the continuity, but hey, jump forward, I guess, to the Dragonfly or whatever that whole series. But the thing about this is it already has kind of a stylized look to it. So if they even take it a little more stylized, I think this type of character can handle what they're doing with the Classified, what they started doing with it. It would still look fine. And we're getting another Snake Eyes, kind of getting a version that's a Fortnite mashup. Now, I do like a few things about it. I like the visor. I really thought we should have had the visor silver all along. A little more color breakup in the figure does look nice. Now, I do admit that part looks nice. Do I need another Snake Eyes? I don't know. Do I need all the accessories? I don't know. Do I need the $40 price point? Not at all. So I'd have been on this for $20, but for $40 I'm out, simply because I already have a Snake Eyes I'm happy with. Now I'm wondering, would this one be more stable, or is it exactly the same as the other one? I mean, I haven't picked it apart, but it looks different. But again, that could also just be all of the different paint apps in it, but I think it does look okay. Wish it was a $20 price, but maybe I'll catch it on sale. So lastly, we haven't really seen any more vehicles coming for the classified line. I would think they'd put out a trouble bubble. I mean, it makes sense. The aerial fly pod, and it's going to get highly redesigned because the one I saw in the game was highly redesigned, and it looked like it had a lot more support than this. It's going to be a lot more stable when you set it down, but to have a trouble bubble would be awesome. I think it would be a flight pod, and if we could get one, or we could get a bunch, it's one that would sell a lot. But would they need a pack-in figure? Do you think they'd need to pack a figure in with this? Of course, they probably would. Hey, would they pack a Viper in with it? So anyway, let me know what you think about the G.I. Joe Classifieds, what's going on right now. The G.I. Joe owe plenty this year. Hasbro has committed to eliminating the scalpers, and they're going to do that by putting out a lot of stock, but they haven't revealed everything that's going for high bucks on eBay right now. So I have faith, not them doing right, faith in them chasing the dollars by putting the figures out for us. It will happen. By the end of this year, you're probably going to see tons of figures on the pegs instead of looking at empty pegboards at Walmart, Targets, and other places. So anyway, like, subscribe. Titanium Hanger out.